Hey everyone, welcome to their top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 movies with the wrong MPAA rating. What's the MPAA rating? Well, the rating you see on movies, whether they're PG, G, PG-13, or rated R, or as we have in Canada, we have G, PG, 14A, 18A. I'll go with more of the American rating because I have more of an American audience than a Canadian audience, but I'm going to go with movies that have the wrong rating. For me, I think they did their ratings wrong. Like, whether they're too light or too harsh on their ratings and stuff. So, these are films, to me, I think the ratings are wrong. There might be more, and some of you might disagree, but let's get to it. Here are the top 10 movies I think have the wrong MPAA rating. Number 10, The Matrix. Rated R, but it should be PG-13. Okay. The Matrix is a great film, and there is some really deadly stuff. The action can be pretty violent, and I think there's one or two F words. It is not an R-rated film, though. This is why I love the Canadian rating. We have 14A, which is like that balance between the PG-13 and the R is a 14A. I think The Matrix is a perfect 14A film. But if we're going PG-13 or R, it should be more PG-13 than R, because it doesn't have that brutality or the bloodiness or the vulgarity or the sexuality of an R-rated film. Is there mature content? Of course. It just doesn't have that brutalness of an R-rated film. So, Matrix should be PG-13. Number 9 is The King's Speech. Rated R, should be PG-13. The King's Speech has, again, like I said, the Canadian rating is 14A, but the American rating is R-rated because it can only go to PG-13 or to R. It settled on the R for the one scene where the main character says the F word about 8 or 9 times. For me, that is not a big deal. That should not push a rating to the MPAA rating to a R rating. I still think it should stay at a PG-13. I don't know, I think kids nowadays watch YouTube and all that shit. They've seen swearing and stuff. If there is a excessive amount of vulgar language in a film, of course you should put it to an R rating. But just one scene with a lot of F words, I don't think so. I still think King's Speech should be at the PG-13, not the R rating. I got the winners. Number 8 is Mulan. Mulan has a G rating film, and it should be a PG film. What's the difference? A G rated, alright. A G rated film means there's nothing bad in the film, nothing too violent or grim for kids. Most Disney films should be rated G. Mulan does have some more darker, it's not like a PG-13, but there's like a scene where Mulan gets slashed and there's like blood showing and stuff. So if you can make Secret of NIMH a G-rated, you can make Mulan a fucking PG movie. I'll be getting to Secret of NIMH, but I feel like when you push a PG movie, there's a little more violence in it and a little more mature subject matter. So I think Mulan is one of those few Disney films, like with Hunchback of Notre Dame, should be a PG, not a G rating. Speaking of Disney, number 7 is Inside Out, which is a PG movie. It should be a G-rated movie. A G rating, again, means there's nothing bad in it, and Inside Out is exactly that. There's nothing in the slightest bit that's frightening, mature, or like it's a great movie for the whole family. Like, I'm not saying it's like a juvenile film, but I'm just saying there's nothing in the movie to push it to that PG level. Mulan has a scene where Mulan gets slashed and there's blood and shit. That pushes to the PG. Inside Out, there's nothing in the movie that makes it a PG. So it should just be a rated G film. So simple as that. Number 6, again I'm going with Disney, is Frozen. Frozen is a PG movie, but it should be a G-rated movie. Once again, Frozen has no blood, there's no innuendos or nothing like that. It is a traditional Disney animated musical movie like Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, all G-rated films. Frozen should be a G-rated film, not a PG film. Just saying. Number 5 is The Secret of NIMH, a G-rated film, which should be a PG-13 film. I'm going that far. Yes, I'm going that far. Some people are saying PG. I'm like, no. Secret of NIMH is not for kids. I wish showing Secret of NIMH at like 7, 8, and it scared the shit out of me. Like, this movie is disgusting. There's like rats getting their throats slit. There's seeing mice die and rot. There's creepy ass imagery. If Harry Potter is a PG-13, then Secret of NIMH is a PG-13. If Pirates of the Caribbean is a PG-13, Secret of NIMH is a PG-13. It's bloody, it's haunting, it's fucked up. I love Secret of NIMH, but my god, that is not a G-rated film. If you show a 7-year-old or even a 5-year-old Secret of NIMH, they're going to be scarred. So, yeah. Number 4 is Raiders of the Lost Ark. PG should be PG-13. I understand when Raiders of the Lost Ark came out, the PG-13 rating did not exist, but it should have changed it. When you watch the DVD or Blu-ray of Raiders of the Lost Ark, it still says PG, not PG-13. Raiders of the Lost Ark is the definition of a PG-13 movie or a Canadian 14A. It is not vulgar or crass or sexual. It is just an adventure story, but there is blood. There are heads exploding. And there is some mild language like a shit and a bitch. So that is not a PG movie. That is a PG-13 movie. So where's Lost Ark? Number 3 is Watership Down. It's a PG, which should be a PG-13. Maybe even arguing an R rating, but I wouldn't go that far. But Watership Down is a movie I hate, and I don't like it. It is a fucked up movie about a lot of killing of rabbits. It's a really disgusting film. I just don't see it. Some people love it, but I just don't like this movie. The fucked up imagery in this film and just the slaughtering of rabbits in this film, like, it should be a PG-13. I watched this movie when I was in like 18, 19. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? I couldn't imagine a child watching Watership Down and thinking, wow, I want to watch that again. I want to watch that rabbit get his head ripped off. I'm like, no, that's fucked up. Yeah, I just don't understand that rating. If you pick up the DVD and it says PG on it, I wouldn't trust it. PG-13. Maybe even R, I don't know. Number 2, Team America World Police. It is an R rating, and it should be an NC-17 rating. Yeah, so going that far. If you can make Killer Joe or Nymphomaniac an NC-17, you can make Team America World Police an NC-17. And I'm not trying to be a prude here. And Team America World Police is a fucking crazy movie. I love it. It's a great movie. But I don't care if they're puppets. It's still fucked up. Like, I know everyone's like, well, it's not an NC-17 because they're not real people. They're just puppets in the movie. But I don't care. There's literally scenes of people getting ripped in half, blood. There's a sex scene where dolls are shitting on each other. This is some weird pornographic shit right here. If you had made a movie where humans were pooping and peeing on each other, I think you'd make that an NC-17. So I think same should go to puppets. It's an 18A R-rated film. I think it should almost push that NC-17 because of the sex scene and the exploding stuff. So, yeah. Number 1, though, for me, because it is a kid's movie, and I'm still shocked to this day it's not PG-13. I've always thought it was PG-13, but it's not. And that's Coraline. Coraline is a PG movie that should be a PG-13 movie because I'm going back to the Harry Potter thing of the disturbing and frightening imagery. That's why Harry Potter is a PG-13. Well, all of them except the first 2, but Harry Potter gets the PG-13 rating because of the mature subject matter and the frightening and disturbing imagery. Coraline is the definition of frightening and disturbing imagery. There's literally children with their eyes ripped out and buttons replaced. The scenes with the bell dome and she's a spider and the crazy shit and the trippiness. I always thought this movie was PG-13. I'm like, this movie's PG-13. I'm like, yeah. But I found it was just PG. I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid. This movie's horrifying. It's terrifying. I watched this movie at 17 years old, and I'm like, oh my god, that was kind of terrifying a little bit. But I'm a little bitch. But that's beside the point. Coraline is a PG-13 movie. But it's disguised as a PG movie. Those fuckers. But yes, I think it should be a PG-13 movie. So yeah. That's it. That is my top 10 movies with the wrong MPAA rating. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with this list, and give me more films you think are too harsh or too lenient on the MPAA rating. And maybe we'll do a part 2 of this. So yeah, give your thoughts and opinions. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and join the dark side.